Right. That was a good morning. We started with a song, Waymaker, Miracle Worker, Promise Keeper, Light in the Darkness. Oh man, that song was great. Thank you for that. Um, so the other day I was visiting with a friend of mine. She sent me a text and I didn't have time to look at it. I was, for the sole reason I was doing something. And then a few minutes later, probably 30, 45 minutes later, she sent another text and it said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I sent that. I shouldn't have sent that. I've been attacked ever since I sent it. It was a bad idea. I shouldn't have done it." And have you done that? Have you ever taken an action and then you just start thinking on it and pondering it, and then you start having this conversation in your head, and then you're like, "Oh, I should never have done that. Oh my God." And then do you ever do that? I've done that. My friend obviously has done that as well. But that conversation that starts growing in your head turns into regret and fear, all because you did something, but you did it out of kindness, but doubt starts to set in. The reality is, I think we've all done this at times, but I want to show you something that my Bible says. In Philippians 2, ironically, weird, we went there already today. In verse 13, it says, "For it is God which worketh in you, both to will and to do of his good pleasure." And now that's a beautiful verse and that's a beautiful promise. But let's look at it again because it's not just a sweet verse and a sweet promise. It is the all knowing, the creator of all things, who chooses to also work in you and me. When I get to the place that I truly believe this, my whole world is going to change. It is presently, currently, right now, in this very moment, God at work within me. He knows the gift of his spirit indwelling within me and you. And he works in that spirit to will and to do of his good pleasure. I want to show you something else that my Bible says. In Psalms 23:6, this is the King James: "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life." And I also did the Passion Translation of Psalms 23:6. So why would I fear the future? Only goodness and tender love pursue me all the days of my life. What follows me? What pursues me? Goodness and mercy. What comes around the corner right after me? What chases me down all the time? Goodness and mercy. So if it is God at work within me, both to will and to do of his good pleasure, and goodness and mercy follow me everywhere I go all the time, how do I think those thoughts continually and not the thoughts that feed regret or doubt or worry or second guessing? It's very simple. Choice. Choosing what to believe. My belief brings about my reality. Today, Heidi showed us that a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. My belief is an idea. It's a thing, and my belief becomes my reality. I choose today to stop second guessing myself, to believe that it is God at work within me, and that goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life. Let me show you something else that my Bible says. Romans 8:28. "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love the God, to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose." How many things work together for good? All, all things. Even when I can't see it, you're moving. Even when I can't feel it, he's working. He is absolutely a waymaker, a miracle worker, a promise keeper, even when I don't see it, even when things don't go the way that I feel they should have gone. He is still working all things together for my good. Why do I fear the future? I don't need to. Kind of gave me a little formula with these verses. So I made a chart, and I'll have it in the writing so you can read it. But it is God at work within me is number one. Goodness and mercy follow me is number two. All things work together for good, for my good, is number three. What did those three things added up together equal? Peace, confidence, trust. All of this is a state of mature love. And according to 1 John 4:18, Mature love casts out fear or doubt or worry or even second guessing myself. Confidence is my waymaker, my promise keeper, my ability, confidence in the fact that he is my waymaker, my light in the darkness. I have confidence that I can live free because he is with me. I get to shine bright and be in love because he works in me, goodness and mercy follow me. We're going to blow it at times. Yeah. Usually it's unintentionally. Maybe sometimes we even blow it intentionally. But either way, we have to get to that point that we instantly forgive ourselves and we move on. Instantly. When you don't instantly forgive yourself for screwing up, I shouldn't use that word, but messing up. When you don't instantly forgive yourself for messing up, then you start having this conversation begin in your head. Well, I said this. Well, what if they would have said this? And then I said this, and then we said that. Have you ever had conversations in your head that did not exist? I have done this many times, and I have to stop those conversations. If I blow it, I have to acknowledge that was probably not the best thing to do. Forgive myself and move on. There is no time for second guessing. There is no time for regret. There is no time for doubt, worry, fear. That has no place in my life. I don't allow that stuff anymore. I expect God to work within me. I expect all things to work out for good, and I expect goodness and mercy to follow me. And when I mess up and I blow it, I forgive myself and I move on. No more rehearsing the negativity over and over in my head, creating a conversation that never existed. Instead, I get honest, I forgive, I love, and then I get into gratitude really, really quick. That's how I live free. The other day, as my husband and I were driving, he said that he realized that when his daughter comes to his mind, he's not supposed to think of her present moment as a place of failure or lack. Do you ever do that when you think about others? You think, oh, this is a tough time for them. This is a challenge for them. Maybe what if they're thriving in their own heart and in their own mind? They feel like they're doing pretty good. And though you can see them so much further than where they are at this moment, what if in this moment they're kind of proud, even in their struggles, of where they're at? It's important that we turn darkness to light. And the greatest way to do that, and the only way to do that for you and I, is in our heads. We turn our thoughts from dark to light. Well, my eyes are really bothering me, and I'm struggling seeing. What if this is part of a new growth for me? It's not a negative thing. It's part of my body developing a new way. And I just believe God that my eyes are going to totally get to where they're supposed to be so I can see new things and they're healthy and they're strong. Or I can say, oh, my eyes are bothering me. I got glaucoma. I got cataract. We get to decide where we go with our thoughts. We get to decide, do we take them down a path of dark or do we take them down a path of light? It's our choice. So when my husband talked about thinking about his daughter, he said, from now on, I'm not going to look at her scenario and her situation and where it's at and think of it as a negative thing. I'm going to think, hey, she's thriving right where she's at. And I'm going to meet her right where she's at. And she's going to thrive right there. And then when you thrive here, you're going to thrive to the next place. In Philippians 4 through 8, I did the TPT version because I think this is so beautiful because this is where we put our thoughts. This is where we put our mind. It says, be cheerful with joyous celebration in every season of life. Well, of course I can because it's God at work within me and all things work together for good and goodness and mercy follow me. So in every season, I'm cheerful and joyous. I think of Lillian. She's always cheerful and joyous. Let your joy overflow and let gentleness be seen in every relationship. I think of what Viv said today, gentleness seen in every relationship. If I'm looking at God looks at the heart in every relationship, gentleness and goodness are going to come out of me because that's easy. Don't be pulled in different directions or worried about a thing. When I think about Jeremy's daughter, I think of her thriving. He's got three. I think of all of them thriving. I think of my daughter. I see her thriving. When I think of my sons, I see them thriving. Don't be pulled in different directions or worried about a thing. Be saturated in prayer throughout each day, offering your faith-filled request before God with overflowing gratitude. Tell him every detail of your life. Then God's wonderful peace that transcends human understanding will guard your heart and mind through Jesus Christ. Pour your heart out before him. It doesn't always mean the situation shifts. You don't know what's going on in the situation. It might still be bothering you. But the minute you pour it out to your Father, you get this peace that transcends our understanding, transcends the scenario. In that song, Waymaker, Miracle Worker, he's greater than our person, place, thing, or ideas. He's greater than any of the negative stuff. He negates that. Okay, the verse continues to say, tell him every detail of your life that God's wonderful peace that transcends human understanding will guard your heart and mind through Jesus Christ. Keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real, honorable and admirable, beautiful and respectful, pure and holy, merciful and kind. And fasten your thoughts on every glorious work of God, praising Him always. That's where we bring our focus. The world outside of our focus can have chaos, and it can have gloom and doom, and it can have a collective fear. But the Father says, fasten your thoughts on every glorious work of God, praising Him always. God does not need your praise. This was a conversation my mom and I had this week. He doesn't need anything from you. He has everything he needs. He loves you. He enjoys you. But when you praise him, he inhabits your praise. You need him. And he knows that. And he knows what he can do for us. So when we praise him, he shows up. He's there. He inhabits the praise of his people. So to conclude, keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real, honorable and admirable, beautiful and respectful, pure and holy, merciful and kind, and fasten your thoughts on every glorious work of God, praising him always. We do not have to second guess ourselves. It is God at work within us, both to will and to do of his good pleasure. Goodness and mercy chase me down, follow me, and come after I leave the room. There's goodness and mercy in that room because it follows me everywhere I go. And therefore, there's no room for doubt. There's no room for second guessing. There's no room for fear of the future. We are in his hands. He is with us, and we are loved. I love you.